Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're literally tackling the English language's most famous existential mystery. We're going to see how a text famous for its absolute frantic anxiety actually contains a hidden pathway to profound peace. We're taking a deep dive into the very nature of existence itself, moving all the way from the frantic questioning of whether to be is even worth it, right through to the profound peace of complete presence. To be or not to be, that is the question. I mean, we've all heard it, right? It is arguably the single most famous quote in the entirety of the English language. It's referenced in pop culture, it's taught in every high school, and it's pretty much permanently etched into our collective consciousness. But here's the thing. While almost everyone knows these opening words, very, very few people actually know where this incredible philosophical investigation leads. We get so caught up in the question itself that we just forget to look for the resolution. So, where does this agonizing debate actually take us? Well, let's find out. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. A Sea of Troubles. The Heavy Burden of Existence. Now, to really understand the answer, we first have to grasp the sheer weight of the problem. In this part of the text, the speaker is wrestling with intense, almost suffocating anxieties. The pacing of the language itself mirrors a mind that is just spinning totally out of control, overwhelmed by the sheer friction of being alive. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Think about that. Is there literally any phrase that more perfectly captures that agonizing feeling of being constantly under attack by life's unpredictable bad luck? The text asks whether it is nobler in the mind to just quietly suffer this bombardment, or to actually take up arms against that sea of troubles and by opposing end them. It's a brutal depiction of life as a relentless battlefield, where fortune isn't just cruel, it's totally outrageous. And you know, it's not just the big, dramatic disasters. It's the daily, grinding indignities. The text rapidly fires off a list of things that make a weary life so incredibly hard to bear. The speaker asks, who would bear the whips and scorns of time? And then literally lists them out. The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's insults, the pangs of unrequited love, the agonizing delay of the law, the sheer insolence of office, and the spurns that patient good people just have to take from the unworthy. Man, it's an exhausting, heavy list to grunt and sweat under. So why not just end it? Why not just sleep and say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to? Well, here's the catch. The true dread keeping us trapped isn't just the pain of life. It's the paralyzing, unsolvable puzzle of what comes next. The text points directly to the dread of something after death, calling it the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns. It's the ultimate unknown. And that unknown puzzles the will, making us rather bear the terrible illnesses we know than fly off to others that we know absolutely nothing about. Which brings us to the devastating conclusion of all this frantic questioning. The text states, thus conscience doth make cowards of us all. Our overthinking, our constant obsessive analyzing of the unknown completely undermines our ability to do anything. The source material says, the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought. All our great enterprises and moments lose their current and lose the name of action. We're stuck, completely paralyzed by the question. But wait, Section 2, the hidden answer. Solving the mystery. Now, what's really interesting here is that we aren't going to stay stuck. The truth is, the author actually answers this agonizing question later in the very same play. The frantic anxiety doesn't last forever. There is a resolution. There's a stark contrast hidden right in the text. On one hand, we all know the chaotic, desperate question, to be or not to be. It's black and white, life or death, an impossible dilemma. But much later, the answer arrives. The readiness is all. Notice how the tone has completely shifted there? There's no longer a desperate need to fight against a sea of troubles or escape into sleep. It's definitive, it's grounded, and it is incredibly calm. Let's break down exactly what this answer means by looking at the text surrounding it. First, the speaker says, we defy augury. Now, augury is the practice of predicting the future. This is huge. He is completely dismissing our obsessive need to predict or control what's going to happen. Next, he acknowledges a special providence in the fall of a sparrow, meaning there is a larger order to the universe, even in the tiniest details. And then he beautifully surrenders to time. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. You literally can't control the timing of your fate. You can only be ready for it. And this just brilliantly illustrates the dramatic shift. The passage ends with a simple, incredibly powerful directive. What isn't to leave betimes, let be. Since no man truly knows what he leaves behind, what does it actually matter if we leave early? Let be. We've gone from the frantic, agonizing questioning of to be or not to be to a state of radical, peaceful acceptance. Just let it be.
Section 3, The Power of Presence, Knowing Thyself.
So let's see how this builds into something even larger. We're going to connect this textual shift to a broader, profound philosophical concept. You see, this isn't just about a character in a play accepting his fate. It's about a state of mind that acts as the absolute ultimate cure for the dread and paralysis we explored earlier. The source text explicitly links these ideas. It defines presence as exactly what this character has achieved. Presence is just another way of saying the readiness is all. It is the total willingness to face whatever unfolds. Whether that next thing is the dreaded, undiscovered country of death, or just some unexpected twist of outrageous fortune as life's journey continues, you are simply ready. This is the core philosophical takeaway of our entire explainer, dropping the struggle and adopting a stance of complete willingness. And the source material goes even deeper, explaining that this state of mind isn't achieved by intellectual overthinking. Remember, the pale cast of thought is what sicklied our resolution in the first place, right? Instead, this understanding is described as knowing via being. It's a profound internal realization. The text puts it beautifully. Know that you are love, and that it is the nature of love to love. You are that. It's a total shift from doing and agonizing to simply being. So, why does this matter for anyone other than yourself? Well, because of the incredible outward ripple effect this mindset creates. The source notes that one who understands the true nature of being beneficially impacts all that he or she encounters. In fact, the text makes a really bold claim here. The absolute greatest good that you can do for others is to simply know thyself. By stepping out of the agonizing question and into presence, you actually become a source of peace for everything around you.
Section 4, The Rest is Silence, The Final Resolution. This brings us to the climax of the narrative arc we've been tracing. We started out in a chaotic sea of troubles, completely bombarded by the noise of overthinking and fear. But now, through presence and readiness, that chaotic noise is finally going to give way to ultimate peace. There is an incredibly poetic truth in the source material. Silence speaks volumes. Without uttering a word, nothing is unsaid. The text reveals a profound insight here. Another name for your true nature is, in fact, silence. Once you stop fighting the sea of troubles, once you let go of the need to predict the future, what remains is a deep, foundational silence where absolutely nothing needs to be said, because everything is already understood. And this brings us to the very end of the character's journey. Hamlet asks his friend Horatio to tell his story, and then utters his final words of the play. The rest is silence. Now, this isn't a tragic defeat. According to our source material, this is actually the proof that he has come to understand his true nature over the course of the play. He has completely evolved from the man who is agonizing over existence to perfectly embodying presence. He doesn't need to ask to be or not to be anymore. He simply steps into the silence. So we've seen the journey from the paralyzing dread of the unknown to the profound peace of complete readiness. We've seen how fighting a sea of troubles can be transformed simply by knowing your true nature. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to consider for your own journey. Are you ready to stop fighting the outrageous fortune of life, to defy the need to predict the future, and to just let be and face whatever unfolds?